Hello, this is the TradeSite Forex market preview and international economic data roadmap for the week beginning Sunday, April 23rd and ending Friday, April 28th, 2017. Hope you had a good trading week. Here's a look at the dollar index daily chart. It slipped a little bit this week and actually broke the last red static trend line, but we're still sitting right on top of it. So we haven't really gone anywhere since back in January. Forex market's been fairly tame. Matter of fact, if you go all the way back to November, we're in a 5-point range, and that's pretty narrow. So therefore, the euro dollar looks like this. The inverse of that usually right now, sitting in basically a 500 pip range for that whole period since November. Pound dollar finally popped up and broke out this week a little bit, so it's got a little bit more range, and maybe some excitement starting to happen. Although the day after that, on Tuesday, it just settled right back down to nothing. Let's look at the intra-week action. We'll start once again with the euro in 30-minute candles, and high to low of the week, 170 pips, let's call it. Monday was fairly flat. Tuesday saw a little move. Wednesday was horribly flat. Thursday saw a little move, although really only 60 or 70 pips. Friday was horribly flat. Here's the pound. Again, the big move was on Tuesday. So the pound had range, but it was all on Tuesday. And look how flat it is after that. Basically stuck in an 80 pip range for 3.5 days after that. So, I mean, there's not much super exciting to talk about. There's no real setups other than the pound potentially breaking out. If we look at the daily chart of the pound yen, it's not breaking out or going anywhere. Here's the Aussie dollar, not much there. Here's the euro dollar or euro yen, not much there. So we'll just keep focusing on the intraday stuff, see what we get. Let's take a look at the economic data that's coming out this week. And let's see, we just had options expiration, so that's behind us. Looks to be a somewhat light week. So here we go. On Sunday, we've got the IMF meetings in Europe, Rightmove HPI out of the UK. Monday, Europe's got German business climate, German BUBA monthly report, UK industrial order expectations, Canadian wholesale sales, CB leading index out of China. We've got going into Tuesday, Australia and New Zealand sharing a bank holiday. Japan's on SPPI comes out. We've got Italy on bank holiday. UK public sector net borrowing on Tuesday. Belgian business climate. HPI, that's the housing price index here in the US. Consumer confidence here. New home sales. Richmond manufacturing index. Jumping to Tuesday evening. Visitor arrivals out of New Zealand. CPI out of Australia. It's a really light week so far because we're already into Wednesday. All industries activity out of Japan, UBS consumption indicator out of Switzerland, retail sales out of Canada, crude oil inventories here in the US. It's the weekly number. Import prices out of Australia that night. Monetary policy statement. So you got a Bank of Japan interest rate announcement potentially. Trade balance out of Switzerland. Now we're into Thursday already. German preliminary CPI, Spanish flash CPI, and Spanish unemployment rate. Italian 10-year bond auction. The Euro has their press conference. That means got a rate announcement for the bank or the ECB. U.S. on Thursday morning, durable orders, the weekly unemployment number, the goods trade balance number, preliminary wholesale inventories, pending home sales, natty gas, that's the weekly number. Building consents out of New Zealand and trade balance out of New Zealand Thursday night. Consumer confidence out of the UK. We've got the household spending and all the CPI and unemployment rate numbers and retail sales out of Japan. So big night for data going into Friday in Japan. Business confidence out of New Zealand. PPI out of Australia. Friday, housing starts out of Japan. German retail sales and import prices. UK nationwide HPI. French consumer spending. Spanish flash GDP. Money supply out of Europe, private loans out of Europe, preliminary GDP out of the UK, index of services out of the UK, CPI flash estimate out of Europe, Italian preliminary CPI. Canada's got their GDP, their RMPI, and their IPPI. Then here it is, here in the US, our advanced GDP number. This is the first look at GDP for the first quarter. So that's an important one. That's a big one. So we usually are half size ahead of that. We've got employment cost index here in the U.S., Chicago PMI, University of Michigan sentiment, and that is it. Let me just check one thing really quick here. That with the way they're calling it, that goods trade balance. Was that? No, it just disappeared. I'll have a look. I'm not sure that's the regular trade balance number that they were referencing on um, Wednesday, but if it is, that's one of our big three as well. So we'll be prepared for that in time. Actually, that was on Thursday as well. So if that's the trade balance number, the regular one, then we'll be half size ahead of that and half size ahead of Friday. All right, charts as usual brought to you by eSignal. We'll just play it as we see it throughout the week, make our calls, and go from there. Have a great trading week.